Girl, you can't say that.
Fix your tongue.
You can't hear that.
Nah.
Fix your hair. Fix your face. Right. Did I step out the box again?
What we talking about today?
Oops, my bad. Code switch. Hi, I'm a professional. Fuck that shit. Y'all know I be playing. Enter at your own risk. Cause sis, this is your talk. Evie here speaking. So let's get into it.
Hey y'all, tonight's gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna take myself out of the camera because I really want to talk to fathers. I really want to have a conversation with men about fatherhood. And for that, you don't need my face. I don't need to be present. So you are gonna hear my voice, but this ain't about me. So I hope you enjoy tonight's segment. It's a little bit different.
Take it all over. God. No, but then like he's saying, like when you're like when you're in still with that person, and then you're providing that roof over their head, then it's the difference. Like for me, I'm not with my kids. I don't live with them. I'm in a sense, and on the outside. I don't live with them. I don't see them every day, but I put that presence in to communicate, to be involved with school, whatever's going on in school, anything they're doing. I put myself 100% in that. If there's something going on in school, if there's a teacher-parent conference, I go. If there's something going on in school that I need to know about, I go. If there's something that the teacher wants to talk about, I include myself. Because for me, not being like in that household with that parent, with the other parent, then I have to still include myself. I can't just say, well, she lives with her mother or whatever, then I don't have to do this. I still have to be involved. I still have to talk to the teachers. I want to talk to the teachers. I still want to see what's going on. Sometimes as a father, when you're not in that household with that child, you tend to like stray away. Mm-hmm. And just because you're not in that household don't mean you stray away. Like I said, I do parent-teacher conference. Mm-hmm. I do all that. I talk to the teachers. I see what's going on with my child. So we have to be involved from every angle.
And I think y'all said two different things that meant the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So you touched on when you're in the home, mm-hmm. you could be providing financially, putting that roof over the head, but not actually being involved. Mm-hmm. Where you're saying if you're out of the home now, you kind of got to go twice as hard to be involved.
Yeah, and I still got to provide. You know what I mean? Like I said to you, I still got to call my child's mother and say, hey, I know it's school time, what she need, or I know what's going on. Like I know when it's school, I know what she need. I got to still be involved regardless. Because I'm not in the household doesn't mean I'm not involved like that.
Right. And I think also being a good father too, even though you asked about a bad father. And let me just put my business out there. I think I was all of them. Whatever you want to name, I was that kind of father at one time in life. I have 3 different children, 2 different baby mothers. So like being outside of the home, I mean not being outside the home, this is where I was going with, I'm sorry. Being a good father as well is like having a good relationship with the other parent.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You can't take because what she said to heart because you're in your feelings about what she said. Mm-hmm. Because that's not being a good parent. Mm-hmm. Because now you're worrying about how you feel and not the well-being of your child. And I think a lot of times we as parents we get our relationship fucked up. This ain't church today.
You go ahead.
I need a drink too. Where we get our relationship messed up, and it's more or less about the child, and we be like, well, shit, if she or he ain't doing this, then I ain't doing nothing for my child, and that's what we lose, and that's part of being a bad father or bad parenting, period. And that's where we lose focused. And I think being part of a good father is staying focused on the task that's at hand.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Now, how do you do that when there's hostility? Right?
Why?
So, like, let's be honest, right? If there's an ex, there's some hostility that came with that ex at least at the beginning of the breakup, mm-hmm. right? Y'all know. People don't actually break up on good terms because then you still be together, right? Most of the time, somebody has some kind of hostility. So how do you stay focused at that beginning period, right? Like it's been 9 years since I was separated, but those first 2 years were hell. How do you stay focused?
It's not about
as
you.
a father.
It's not about you as a father. So it's hard to say how to stay focused, right? Because in fact, it's a broad range of everything that goes on in this relationship. And when I say relationship, I'm just talking about with the whole dynamic with the child, you, this person, that person. So it's hard to pinpoint one thing, but for the most part, in my opinion, this is my opinion, you gotta stay focused as what's hand. What's more important is the children or the child. And sometimes this is where you don't even have to say nothing bad to your child about the other person, but the child reads off energy and can tell, okay, mom is being you know what I mean, dad being, you know what I mean, and then what happened is, even though we do it anyway, we grow up to have a mindset of how our parents are, our father is, because of the fact of how he treated mom or how mom treated dad.
Yeah, and this is that part where you don't see that. For me, I didn't grow up with that. My father walked out the delivery room when I was born, and never seen him. I met my father when I was 21, so I never had that father figure. So for me, it was like, I want to be a better father. You know what I mean? I would never do that to my child. So for me, it's like for my younger child, I have an 8-year-old child. The hostility when we stopped dealing was crazy. Like, I couldn't even call. But what I did is I stayed focused on my child. I started to get more involved. Like, okay, I wanted to know what's going on. As a parent, I have that right. I have the right to say what's going on with school. I'm her father. So I just continue to be involved without even kind of like going back and forth with her. I'm doing my part. I get her every other weekend. I get her during the week. This is what we're going to do. We're going to continue this. I talked to the teachers. I did all those things. Got her involved with things on myself. So after a while, the hostility just kind of died out, because you're not going to push me away from my child.
Right.
And I'm not going to say to you, because you're acting a certain way, I'm going to be away from my child.
Right.
So sometimes, like, fathers tend to just walk away because of the mother.
Right.
I didn't walk away because the mother was acting.
All right. That's against the rules. That's against
No,
the rules.
it's
That's
the rules.
against the rules.
Hey,
She was acting hostile.
If you want to call it hostile.
Yes, we're going to call it hostile.
We're going to call it hostile.
But that's smart too, because as a father, being a good father, you should know your rights.
Exactly.
A lot of us as parents, men don't know our rights. We say, well, shit, I can't. She won't let me see him, so I have no right. Well, if you sign up here, you have a right. You're a parent.
And a lot of fathers accept it. Just like you said, you have a lot of rights, but you just want to accept the fact that, you know what, she don't want to do this. No, you have plenty of rights.
I'm just saying. I thought we said we was thirsty, but go ahead. I'm just saying.
What y'all want?
I don't know what you got.
Hard stuff is in the garage.
What would you
Can we
got?
just do that after?
Okay.
Alright. Then I'll treat y'all both to whatever's in the garage. I only keep wine in the house unless y'all want some wine.
No.
Okay. Alright, my other question is, right? Tell a moment when you was a bad father.
Ooh.
You said like you got moments of all, right? Tell a moment when you was a bad father. What's an example? And then how do you recover from that?
Every time I went to prison. I went to prison a few times. My first child, I didn't have any relationship with her at all, because in fact, I didn't know how to make that step and say, okay, this is my child. Let's do a blood test, A, B, C, and D. That's my first child. I wasn't in her life until she got older. She's in her 20s. She's about to be 20. She just turned 28. And my second child, I was in and out of prison for my second child. And even though I was in the house, but I wasn't there. And it wasn't good. Like, we all got bonds with each other, but as a father, especially as a young girl, you need that, in my opinion, you need that male role model. And it's, for me, it was kind of hard, especially for my oldest child, having no true connection, it was difficult. But as I got older and I became understanding of being a real parent, you know what I'm saying? I got an 8-year-old as well. And what happened was, I just said, you know what? I need to get all my children in one house. And what I did was, came together and bought a house and brought my other daughter, and son. We put him on the house. I'm like, listen, and I told him, hey, A, B, C, Dad did this, Dad did that, but I want to do better, not just for me, but for you all, because it's a fact. I don't want to lose you. I was in prison, and I seen guys say, yo, I don't give a fuck about my father. He wasn't there. I don't give a fuck if my father died. I don't care about his funeral. I don't want to go to his funeral. And I don't want to leave my legacy behind with my children like that, you know? So, you know, that's one of me going to prison. That's one of my biggest things, in my opinion.
Same for me, honestly. I got two kids. I got two older, 29, 28. For those times, I think it was like 8, 9. I went to prison as well. I did 10 years. So when I came home, they 18, 19. So that 10-year gap put a strain on the relationship. Like my daughter, she was just like against me in a sense. Like I wasn't there. It's like you wasn't there for me. So we're good now, but it took a while to build back that relationship. Like my kid, like my oldest ones, like to build back that relationship. And like I said, you learn from that. You see how your kids act towards you, and you learn from that. So when you have other kids, it's like, I want to do better. I want to do different. I want to, you know what I'm saying? So I get what he's saying. So now I have two other ones that's 17 and 8. So, you know what I mean? I've been in their life. Of course, I've been home since then, so I've been in their life. So it's like, that changed me because I seen how my kids acted. Like, it was like, you wasn't there. Like, my daughter is like me. Like, she's straightforward. Like, you wasn't there for me. So it took years to kind of get us back on track. And we good now, but, you know, it's just like, that's when I feel like you said, I was a bad parent. Like, you know, couldn't do nothing for you. It's 10 years. I mean, I couldn't, even though it's like, I could say, well, I was in jail, but, you know, that's the life I chose, and I put myself there. So,
yeah.
You know,
that's interesting from that perspective. I don't think I ever really talked to my dad about his missing time. He went to jail, and we reconnected when I was 20 because he was in a halfway house with my cousin. And those first 5 years, I didn't want to talk to him. He kind of held me down until now. That's my homie, right? But I don't think we ever really talked about the missing time. We just act like it didn't happen. I ain't see you since I was 6, and we're gonna just pretend those years didn't happen.
Yeah, I came home. My daughter done had a kid. Like, that long, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, I come home to be a grandfather, you know what I mean? Like, so it's hard to, you know what I mean? Like I said, we good now, or we, you know, but it's that gap plays a part.
Do y'all ever talk about it?
As far as what?
With your oldest, like, do y'all ever have conversations? Do they ask you questions?
Well, mine don't act. They knew the situation. I mean, I told them, you know, what happened, because that gap, it's like 10-year gap. Like I said, it was like whatever, 8, 9, whatever it was. So that 10-year gap, I wasn't there. So, they, you know, of course, it's questions. And I sat down when I got home and talked to them about it. Like, you know, your father chose a wrong path in life, and I paid the consequences and the price. And they understood after a while, but it takes a while. It takes a while.
It takes a minute.
It's not.
You gotta be willing.
Yeah, you gotta let them know.
Yeah, it's a lot. Even with my second baby, my second daughter, that's another thing. Even she was under the roof, and sometimes she didn't even see me in the morning before she went to work because I hung out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, I would leave town, you know what I'm saying, and won't come home. You know, I'd call her, or she'd text me, or whatever it was that, and she'd call me, or whatever, and, but, you know, Daddy, when you come home, I'll be home in a little while. By the time you get from school or whatever, I'll be home. Because I was just so in the fast life of the streets, and I love the streets, and I love whatever I was doing out there. And, you know, there'd be times I did not come home. I did not come home till 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. She'd be at school, or whatever the case may be, you know? And it was just not good as being a parent. It's a lot of stress on everybody in that household. You know what I mean? Like, for this little boy right here, he could say he see me every day. You know what I mean? But he crazy though.
That's because he sees you every day.
For real, that's what I said.
Bad for them.
That's what I said. I said, damn, my other two turned out alright. I don't know, but this one, they never saw me. It's scary.
All right, we got. Go
Let
ahead.
me ask you, has that played a part with your other kids? Like for a minute, my little daughter and my oldest daughter, that's 28. She had a problem with that. She had a problem that my little daughter got all that attention. You know what I mean? Because she didn't get that because I was, whatever. So for a minute, that was the issue.
Yeah, me personally, I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe my oldest daughter, because she's from a whole different female. Well, not half a female, right? But she may, I'm not 100% sure, but she came to live with us for a little while.
Okay.
And then, but they both, what got me mad, I bought that big ass house and then they both left. One went to Texas, the other one went to Detroit. Motherfuckers. But it may be a little resentment. I think it has to be. And just life. We as human beings, always want that love that you see from someone else. And it may not even be true love. I always talk, don't believe nothing you see and half the things you hear. So they looking from there thinking that daddy's giving all my love to him or her, but I'm giving my love to everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So my question was financial, right? Does that ever play a part, like not having it, or what you gotta pay for, or what you gotta do?
What do you mean, as far as like?
Shit, we ain't never had none, so we don't worry about financial. We got nothing but love for each other. We've been broke all our motherfucking life. So
I feel like, okay, I think y'all have two different situations, right? But still, for you, right, you're providing a home. So does it ever come up like where you're just providing and not the emotional state? For you, do you pay child support since you're outside the home, and does that play a part in what you get for your child? That's always like a big issue with fatherhood, right? Is that whole financial piece because a man should provide, or the baby mama drama because of child support, like.
Society fucks up I know it's about fathers, but society fucked up our women a lot of times. This is why. Our men sometimes, this is why, because, a lot of women say they're independent, they don't need a man, yada, yada, yada. But that's another story. That's another...
we can go back there another day. Go ahead.
But,
we need some ladies here for that conversation.
But, I financially, they never really, the state came out with me more than anything. But, financially, we've always been good, in my opinion. It's more emotional. My family's very emotional. You know what I mean? So
girls.
Very emotional. Their mother's been alright. So I don't really. They crazy as fuck, but they've been alright. So.
Wow. Since out loud.
Yeah.
Emotional, loving, passionate.
Crazy.
No, passionate.
Because you have to be crazy to have all that. Because there's so many emotions. You know what I mean?
Passionate.
Crazy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But hey, somebody had to get them there.
Hey, I'm glad we can admit that. That's a halfway admit that it's your fault. Got it.
No.
Got it. I appreciate that.
I didn't say I got them there. I said somebody.
Appreciate that.
Somebody could be anybody.
Okay.
Somebody could be anybody and everybody.
Okay. So, have you ever had any situations when it came to child support because you are separated?
Of course, I was on child support, but like I said, I've always reached out. You know what I mean? I've never said waited for the mother to call me and be like, I need this, I need that. I reached out, so I've always been okay with that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I reach out. I communicate like my child's mother. We're not beefing. We're not mad at each other. We're not, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm reaching out. And like I said, my kids are older, except for the little one, of course. But with her, it's been since day one I've been there. You know what I mean? So she has never lacked for anything. You know what I mean? Or had to say, well, she needs this, she needs that. You know what I mean? So I've been in there 100%.
The crazy part about it, I had child support for my middle child. My oldest, I didn't sign papers. That's a whole different. That could be a whole different podcast as well. But my middle child, I had child support, and they came for me. Only reason I paid it because I said I wasn't gonna pay it. Only reason I paid it, I couldn't get a passport. Be honest.
Yeah.
Only reason I paid is I couldn't get a passport. But my daughter been with me in my life. She been, whatever. When I was in prison, every 2 weeks she was seeing me. You know what I mean? I wrote almost every day, called her 3 times a week. So, but when I came home, I had to do like rarities. They made me pay the hospital bill because mom ended up saying, yo, I don't need any child support for him, but the state picked it up. Yeah. So I had to pay some kind of hospital bill. It was like $5,000 or $6,000. And
so wait, I just want just clarity. So you had to pay a rearage from when you was locked up?
Oh, it don't stop when you're in prison.
That's crazy. That I didn't know.
No, it don't stop. It builds up.
It builds up while you.
Pretty
That's
much.
crazy.
I had like six.
I thought I knew a lot about the system. I did not know that case.
And they'll send you the child support coupon to your jail. They know where you at. They know where you at, but they don't stop that shit.
Yo, that's
the problem.
crazy.
That's the problem with a lot of situations out here. Like in jail, they don't
every
stop.
2 weeks or every week. They wanted me to pay $11. I'm paying that shit. My daughter been in my house all this time, but when I was trying to leave the country, they're like, nah, you can't leave. Passport said, nah, denied child support. I'm like,
Let me get this over with. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Recently, I just paid it 4 years ago. No.
And
Oh,
she's
6
old.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you old. She's old. You old. You missed that before you got it. You old as hell. Yup. So, all right, now we gotta hold men accountable. What do y'all say to y'all deadbeat friends? Don't pretend you ain't got no deadbeat friends, because you do.
What do we say to them?
Yeah, y'all just let them be deadbeats.
They know what they be. So listen, what can I say? First of all, I gotta fix myself before I fix anybody else, right? So just like I told you in the beginning, I've been all those guys, right? To a point. We can talk about it, right? Just like you talk about somebody about eating food or whatever the case may be, but that's still their choice. Or what's the old saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. Mm-hmm. So there's 100 deadbeat dads, but I'm sorry, the 100 deadbeat women too.
Right. Deadbeat parents.
Right.
I'm for you, deadbeat parents.
But to each their own. You there's nothing that you can say to that individual until that individual wanna step up. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do or say. You could be blue in the face, purple, whatever, but that individual have to step up as a I don't want to say man, but as an individual, you got to step up. In my opinion, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, basically, they do. It's not much you can say.
You don't think it's your responsibility as another man to try to hold the people next to you accountable so that they're a better man?
That's what I said. You have conversations.
Okay.
I said you can lead them to water.
Uh-huh.
But I can't make them drink. I'm gonna drown them.
So yes, you do feel like it's your responsibility a little bit to have them conversations and let them know. So you feel like, right?
Don't put words in my mouth.
I'm just asking a question. I know for a fact you got friends that don't take care of their kids well. I know that for a fact. I don't know your population people, but I know your population people a little bit, right? And so I just want to know if men hold other men accountable. Like me and my ladies talk about it all the time. Like if we feel like we got a friend, right, and she was just unparenting is what I'm gonna call it, right? And so we're like, yo, you gotta actively do something. You can't just let it happen. Oh, it's gonna happen. No, it's not. You gotta do something. So we all had this intervention to talk to her about I'm not saying bad parenting. Unparenting is what we're gonna call what she did. Right? So do y'all have those conversations as men, or do y'all, because I feel like men don't get touchy-feely too much, right? Do y'all have those conversations, or you just step back and let deadbeats be deadbeats?
I think like you said, we'll have that you know what it is with me? We'll have that conversation, and then I might say, since I started doing this, it made it more easier, the communication with my child's mother, this and that. I kind of give that to them. Like, I can't be like, yo, you gotta do this.
We don't, you know what I mean? We don't
say you ain't doing a good job, do better?
We ain't, you know what I'm
saying? So who gonna say do a good job?
But it's in conversation. It's in conversation. It's like you lead by example.
Yeah.
Like, yo, since I've been doing this with my child mother, it's been peace. Nothing like this.
Trying to encourage.
Hopefully they can bite on that, but you can't. You know what I mean? How much can you?
Yeah, it's not.
We say.
Me personally, who I don't. It's not that I don't like. What I don't like is men or people, not even fucking men, people, parents who have children and are in a different relationship, and take care of that person in a relationship child better
Oh yeah.
than their children. You know what I mean? I don't understand that.
It's a lot of that.
I don't understand that. And I don't like when I'm say me and you in a relationship and people get mad at me all the time. I can't discipline your child. Even though we're in a relationship, I don't feel right disciplining your child, even though the dad ain't there, whatever. I can protect, but discipline him, I think that's wrong. So if he's gonna put his hand in there, I'm like, hey, little boy, whatever. Because they all little boys to me. Little boy, get your hand out of there. But if there's certain things as a step parent, father, me personally, I try not to go over that point or that thing. But I just don't like, I don't like when people take care of somebody else's child better than they take care of their own child.
So that's the stuff you might speak on.
It's always conversation. It's always a conversation. Because I think, in my opinion, I think men have debates about certain things. I think women have conversations with each other about what's going on. We tend to debate what we see, how we feel at that moment about the situation. I think women have conversations, they converse about it, in particular, about the, you know.
It might be easier for women.
Because we always sharing.
Because as men, I might be like, yo, you might be like, what the fuck you talking about? You know, you might go to another level with it. If I'm trying to say, I know we cool, I'm trying to tell you, oh, you should take care. We might go to another level with it. Women, they're more like, y'all can have that conversation. Men, sometimes it's harder. Yeah, it's harder. You know what I mean? For us to be like, well, you should do this, you should do that. And they looking at you different now because you're trying to say, hey, you know, and then it becomes a back and forth. So it's like, for me, it's like you lead by example. We might have a conversation. Yeah, man, you know, since I started doing this and doing that, we've been better and everything's good. You know what I mean? Maybe they can listen but that conversation of pointing the finger like, yo, you ain't doing this, it's different. It's different with men because our chest stick out.
Can we do a fathering class? And like, do you think bad fathers are coming to that? Probably not, right?
Come to what?
A parenting class. We have a whole bunch of good fathers have an intervention with a whole bunch of bad fathers. I know enough that I could convince them to come.
So okay. I know we talk about good fathers, you asked the question. Give me an example of you being a bad dad and being a good father or whatever the case may be. But then you keep saying bad dads.
No, don't get me wrong.
Killing me.
So listen, don't get me wrong. When we had the motherhood conversation, we talked about bad mothers too. I'm not like in particular or just one like bad dads, right? Because I definitely think there's bad moms. So I don't want to portray here that I think dads are bad. Because like my godfather, I had to watch him go through a lot of hell to be a good father, and he's a great father.
Right. So what I'm saying is,
like,
what about that bad dad, right? Or that bad parent, right? I think I said it earlier. It's about examples. Maybe they don't have examples to be the best superhero they can be. Sometimes it's hard. Like if I ask you right now how much money I have in my pocket, you'd be like, I don't know. It's because you don't know how to be that person. You know what I mean? You don't have a great understanding of being a parent. You just probably know and think that you know what's going on. But to have an understanding of being a true parent or a father, that shit hard. And sometimes you do need examples. And it could just be a bad example to be a better father, a better you. Because he said it. He just said it. I didn't have that. He said I didn't have that. Because of the fact because he didn't have it, he wanted to be that better him for his parents or for his child. So some people don't because they don't have it, they like, well, I don't get it.
So this is what I'm saying though, right? I get that. But I feel like women, if I go right now on Eventbrite and I type in mom, it's gonna be mom support groups everywhere, right? And sometimes you don't even gotta know the people. You just show up and they tell you how to be a better mom. I'm struggling being a bad mom because I'm a bad mom because of this, and then we go and talk to each other about ways to be a better mom. I feel like dads don't have that, right? Like I feel like dads don't have that. Do you think dads would be receptive to that, or nah? You just think that that's just not how it works?
I think so. I think there's definitely some. I mean, look, me and him, I think we will be receptive to something like that. I'm sure
already good dads.
But I'm just saying, I'm sure there's other fathers out there that, you know, I don't know.
I strategically picked two active fathers to have this conversation because I wanted to make sure I was having a fair conversation. But So that don't count as y'all. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Do you think non-active
I
fathers?
think-
Y'all interact with them more, right? I'm biased. I can't really like.
So, I think if you did have that, I think I apologize, but this generation is totally different. These parents are totally different. So they're more in tune with their feelings and understanding of their feelings. So I think they know their feelings. So I think with that mom thing you said, if you did it for dads, you will have some dads coming out doing that shit. But you know, it is what it is.
All right. So last topic before we go is Black fatherhood. What do you think your biggest challenges are? What like it's hard, right? Like Black fatherhood. That's it.
Biggest challenge is black.
And you don't, do you have boys at all? Or okay, you do? That's so right? So you're raising black men.
Black man. So it's just a conversation of how to walk out your door. You know what I mean? Because in my opinion, a lot of other nationality, race, creeds, or whatever, they don't tell you, or I don't think they don't teach your kids how to not talk to a police or how to talk to a police. They say, okay, if you're right, you're right. But me being a black man, I can't tell my son, if you're right, speak your opinion. Because in fact, that might be your last opinion you spoke. You know what I'm saying? So it's a way I gotta teach my child how to speak to all polices and things of that nature. Because it's just that scary for me. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just rough because, in fact, I think my son's gonna have a target regardless because he's black. Then he's gonna have a target because I'm his father. Just Roland himself. Because, in fact, I grew up here. I've been here. I did a lot of negative things in my life. You know, I changed my life around. But you still have that persona of some people thinking, well, you know, that's his son or whatever the case may be. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. I always want my son to be the best. Every day he walks out the house, he is a king. He is a leader. He will protect himself. You know what I mean? Every single day, he got to repeat that to me. Because I want him to know he's a great individual, and he's to be a great man. And I think some other nationalities and races and people don't have to do that.
Great. No, but my son, like I said, I wasn't in his, but we still have those conversations about what's going on in the world. You know what I mean? Like when you're out there, it's a difference. You know what I mean? If they pull you over, it could be a total difference. So I want him to be aware. He's older, you know what I mean? But I want you to be aware. I still got to drill that in you. Like, be aware when you're out there. You know what I mean? Like my son was one who would ride around in his car with his hoodie on and like, listen, I know this is a thing with these kids nowadays, but you're in, because he's in North Carolina, you have to be careful with what you do and how you are out here because they look at, you know, things can be looked at you differently. You know what I mean? And these police pull you over, you know, talk to them politely. Don't try to put your chest out. So, you know, it's just being a black father in general. And then we fight that statistic of not being in our child's life. You know what I mean? We fight that dilemma too. Like, you know what I mean? So we gotta, I'm here. You know, let them know, like, I'm here.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you need to talk, if you need, I'm here. You know what I mean? So.
And it's crazy that you said, like, be careful.
Yeah.
Like, in different households, be careful is in my opinion, it's two different things.
Yeah.
Like, some households, like, be careful, like, you know, how you drive. But I gotta be like, be careful. Because you don't know who you're gonna run into. You know what I mean? Stand your ground. You know what I mean? Type shit. You don't know who you're gonna run into because people are afraid of the unknown. And a lot of people are afraid of my skin color because they don't know us, but what they see on that television.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
That's what they go by.
So I think it's hard. I think it's very difficult for, because you're fighting many battles. I'm not just fighting that my son is a boy, but I'm fighting that the color of his skin. I'm fighting that the neighborhood he live in. I'm fighting, he got to fight because of the guy next door. I got to fight that because how we were as people came up and how other people came up and portray us. So it's a whole different education, you know what I mean? Just anything in general. Or he's gonna be people are gonna think that all he's gonna be is an athlete, or he's not gonna be able to know how to read, or he's gonna be a killer, a murderer, or he's gonna sell drugs. You know, so there's many aspects in life that we as fathers, black fathers, I'm gonna put black first, have to fight for our black and brown little boys, in my opinion. So it's rough.
Definitely, it's a fight. It's definitely a fight.
Yeah,
You just gotta instill that in them, like safety in all aspects.
yeah.
I want to tell you something real quick, right? My son, remember when we seen you in Finish Line?
Mm-hmm.
He was joking about him buying you sneakers, and he was about to buy you sneakers. We got in the car like, why you just gonna buy him sneakers? You don't really know him. He said, Ma, he be helping you out. Black men can let another black man be looking bad. That's how they judge us. I was like, yo, I think I did a good job. But that is true, right? Like, I feel like for y'all, black men have such a hard time just by the way you look, right? And I was glad that he recognizes how important that is. Especially because now, right, he's in North Carolina by himself. I'm scared every day, right? Because I know he loves his daggone hoodie and all that other stuff, but he does recognize that a black man has to look a certain way just to be that. So, like, it's got to be hard being a black man trying to raise black men, right?
And to be honest with you, man, I can have a shirt and tie on.
Yeah, and it don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yep.
You know what I mean? When I worked in the high school, I wore a shirt and tie every day. And sometimes the people on that train looked at me like I was a piece of junk.
You go to court.
Yeah.
That's what they think about a black man in a suit and tie.
Yeah. You know what's crazy?
Judge different.
Yeah, we are judged different. And sometimes we look at each other even crazy too. Because sometimes if you see a black man on the catch bike, he got shot. Or if he is unconscious, think he got shot.
Yeah.
Man had a car accident. Maybe he had surgery.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. And
it's embedded into us.
Yeah,
it's systematic.
and we gotta fight against each other at times, you know. And I don't. And I'm sorry, and you can fight me on this and put another topic. I don't believe in black on black crime.
Oh, I don't.
Oh yeah.
I don't believe in that.
I
Black
got
on
some
black.
statistics for you. You want to know? The last time they reported, which is 2 years ago, white on white crime was 81%, and black on black crime was 87%. You shoot who's near you.
That's
So
what
it's BS.
People don't understand that.
But we can talk about that another day.
Yeah, people don't understand.
Absolutely, it's crazy.
That's crazy. Like, and I don't know. It's just a lot. But what happens again? We see it on TV. All we see is that's all they parade is black on black crime.
Right.
So therefore, I gotta also fight TV.
Right.
And TV sees is all throughout this world.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm in prison, and my guy told me he's from China. He said when he first came to America, he was a scared of black guy.
Yep.
He said he seen the black guy went the other way. He said, I didn't realize because what they portray you on TV. He said every time I see the guy on TV, he was a gangster with a gold chain.
Right.
He barely knew English. I gotta fight that too.
Right.
I said Chinese man that's in another country is afraid of me when I go to China.
Right.
Because of what's portrayed on TV. So I gotta teach my son how to be strong and have an understanding of this shit. You know what I mean? I gotta teach my son to have 7 senses or how many senses there are, whatever. You know? I gotta teach my daughter, black daughter too, how to be a queen. Gotta teach her how to be a queen. Because they don't look at her as a queen.
I mean, the best thing is that we know what we gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And once more people, more fathers know what we gotta do. Regardless if it's you have a son or a daughter, you have to instill in them what you know what I mean. We have to teach them. You know, we just don't know how to teach our sons. We gotta teach our daughters. You know, I got 3 daughters, one son. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I instill in them like you're a queen. You know what to look for out here, what to be careful. You know, I got a daughter 18 going to Mississippi. I'm like, fuck. Like, you want to go to Mississippi to go to school?
Right.
So it's like, you know what I mean? And that had me worried, like, but you know what I mean? We gotta let them make these decisions and stuff, and it's hard, but we gotta instill in them what to be careful of. And you're a black girl, you know what I mean? It's, we have to be careful. We have to be mindful, not just with our sons, our daughters.
Yeah.
And that's part of what we talking about, being a parent, instilling in them what what they need out there. You know, it's hard. You know what I mean? Like when I went to jail, it was just like you know, I did what I did, but it's like when you're in front of that judge, it's like, you know, it's like the judge told me when I went in, like, you're a menace. We want you out of society. And it's like, it was hard for me to take, and it was hard for me to leave my kids. And, you know, you learn a lot, you see a lot, and then you come home and you try to be different and do different. You know what I mean? With that, I hope a lot of, you know, fathers come home and see that difference. Like, you gotta come home, and especially if you got kids, be different, be better. Because we all they got.
True.
You know what I mean? We all they got. So that's what happened with me. I came home, I did my time, I came home, and I did better. You know what I mean? So hopefully it's more fathers who come home, do better. We need more black fathers, strong black fathers.
Yeah, strong black men, man.
Yeah,
because
we need it.
They are really. It's real messed up. It's real fucked up. And I think a lot of times too, and I think this is part of why a lot of black men, fathers, get behind, because they have so much pressure. People don't realize how much pressure a black man have on them. We got and I don't care what nobody tell me. Me as a black man, got a lot of pressure on me, cause I gotta be that good. I gotta even be greater because of the fact
You gotta be great.
because I just came from the system.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You
So
already got something.
They told me I couldn't have a job. You know what I mean? I worked in a high school. They told me I wasn't gonna get over this much money because I don't have an education. So I had to fight all this shit. You know what I mean? So I think what happened is too that every time that we come out or a father, we it's all steps. For me to be great, I had to take steps. To be greater, I had to take even more steps, right? So therefore, I think a lot of times we as black men, we think we just gotta go straight to be greatness. But everything is like making a pyramid. This shit takes time. None of this shit is overnight. I'm still a work in progress, and this is why I feel that I become better, because I know that it's not just from A to Z. I gotta go to B, C, D, and all the other alphabets that I don't know.
Right about that. You gotta take them steps.
You gotta take them steps, and that's why I repeatedly kept going back to jail. I didn't learn after my first bid. I didn't learn after my second bid. Even my third bid, I didn't learn because I still was hustling. And then while I was hustling, some said, you know what, you need to get the fuck up out of here with this shit. And that's when I started becoming better. And I said, okay, I gotta be a better parent. This is not about me. So I think a lot of times we as black men think that it's about money. And it's not about money to be a good parent. You know what I mean? It's about them. And having that time with your child or your children.
With them,
You know what I mean?
Means
Because
more to them than money.
That means more than money.
Me sitting and watching a movie with my 8-year-old daughter means everything to her. You know what I mean? Popping a bag of popcorn, watching a movie means everything to her. You know what I mean? So
and it's not a rush. Not a rush. And you want to be there. You know what I'm saying? You're like, well, I spend time. All this shit is time. All this shit is time, man. But it's hard. It's hard for a black man.
You gotta put that effort in, man. We gotta put in extra effort. You know what I mean? But we gotta do it. It's definitely gonna take time.
Gentlemen, I appreciate you.
No words.
Right? Thank you. We need great black fathers. So, thank you.
Yeah, I want to say I appreciate you inviting me. Because you usually don't invite me.
Okay,
But,
we're gonna just do it. So,
yeah, appreciate it.
it's clearly.